our topics and themes that we have within the Shia community, but be able to discuss in a non-judgmental and free environment.
Just a little bit of judgment.
Oh, listen, we've got room for controversy. Like, this is Imam Hussein TV. Mr. Sukhni, do you think we have too many podcasts in our community?
Ooh.
Do we need another one?
So you're already starting with the trouble and the problems.
Here starts the controversy.
I'm really excited for this one. I've been on the others. You might see me on another podcast.
To our main topic, Shia oppression.
You could do dhulm on yourself as a Shia by not taking pride in your identity.
That's a deep one, though.
He goes, looking back on Islamic history, we should have pride in Khalid ibn Walid. And I was just like, bro, can you imagine?
I can't stand apologetic Shias. Oh no, we don't hit ourselves. We don't curse the Sahaba. We don't. What are you talking about? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome to Imam Hussein TV's brand new podcast show, the Shia Vibes. Yes, I got a promotion from that fixed show that you were watching before, and now we've got a brand new show discussing Islamic subjects, topics, and themes. And inshallah, throughout the season, you guys are going to be involved and enjoying everything that we have to offer. For myself, Mohsin Shah, and joining me is a very, very familiar face, Rasul Alim's finest, Hussain Sukhni, and also all the way from South London, Bandit Country, Liverpool, and Eagles
South
fans,
South of the river.
Saif Ali Khan. Assalamu alaikum, boys.
Alaikum assalam.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad. This is a promotion, isn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah, it seems like a promotion.
It is, yeah.
New set. Come on,
new
softness.
set, my own little program and everything.
2 types of drink.
Main thing is I've got freedom of creativity.
Fantastic.
That's gold in this show, in this business.
Fantastic.
That is gold.
That's gold.
But
That's gold.
inshallah, we're gonna be over the next season or so. We've come together, production team and so forth, looking for a new way to promote our topics and themes that we have within the Shia community, but be able to discuss in a non-judgmental and free environment.
Just a little bit of judgment. Come on, you got to spice it up.
Fair enough. Listen, we've got room for controversy. Like, this is Imam Hussein TV.
That's what we want, no?
Opening
That's
a
what we
big
want.
can of
You know
worms
what I mean?
with that.
However,
You're telling me Imam Hussein TV and podcast and us 3. Come on, bro. There's got to be some controversy.
there will be,
Yeah.
but inshallah, in a controlled manner, a non-offensive manner.
Non-offense. Okay,
You know-
fine. We'll accept that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And inshallah, main thing is to tackle topics, which sometimes scholars do shy away from. Before we begin with today's theme, quickly, how important is it for us to have a podcast like this, discussing these topics that sometimes do not get mentioned on the member or even in our communities?
So I think it's so important because us as the layman, basically not the scholars, always having the limelight and the camera. What do we think? Like, how do we feel? And being able to just be in a show, in a setting where we're just conversing, we're just having a conversation. It's not structured. It's just us letting out our true feelings, our true thoughts, and just seeing how it flows. So just everyone can hear what it's like from our point of view.
Mr. Sukhni, do you think we have too many podcasts in our community?
Ooh.
Do we need another one?
So you're already starting with the trouble and the problems.
Here starts the controversy.
Yeah, exactly. He just told us not to as well. No, I think so far each podcast has actually taken a different approach.
Okay.
I'm really excited for this one. I've been on the others, so just telling you from now, you might see me on another podcast. You might see me there. But I love the concept of podcasts in general. I don't have to wear a suit, number one.
Yeah.
We're a bit more comfortable. We can talk a bit more freely. We don't have to. Should we bring that up? Let's not bring that up. Yeah, we can talk a bit more freely. We can have a bit of, light banter. We can be a bit more relaxed and.
You know what?
And then the real talking will start that way. That's what I
like about podcasts, and this is no shame on any gender, but with lads, it's like we're sitting in the barber shop or we're sitting, in a cafe, a social area where we normally conversate and we talk about football, we talk about entertainment, politics, whatever we're talking about. We're in a place where we can say what we want without being judged or whatever, and can have some fruitful conversations.
I hope so, man. I hope to come out of each episode actually learning some new stuff from you guys, because I know everyone comes in different backgrounds as well.
Yeah.
So
we've actually got a mixture here. We've got Iraqi. I'm just a mix of everything. You were gonna say Khoja.
Indo. What you are Khoja, isn't it?
I'm Indian, Pakistani, Khoja, British born. What else can I add to the?
But your surname's Khan. Like, you know what I mean?
Proud Pakistani.
That's very,
Okay,
very
proud Pakistani.
strong. It's probably the most common name in Pakistan, probably.
As my granddad would say, you're a Khan. Better.
Do you speak Pashto?
Nope.
Oh,
I don't.
Senge Jore to my Pashto friends out
What
there.
did you say about us?
That's-
Tell me right now what you said.
Don't worry. Anyway.
We're gonna get that translated.
So let's go to our main topic today in our theme, which is Shia oppression.
Yes.
Now, Shia oppression, you know, can happen in many forms. I'm sure you guys have been victims to it as well. Me personally, I've been a victim in different capacities.
Mm.
Looking at Shia oppression, there's Shia oppression in media.
Mm.
There's Shia oppression in our communities. There's Shia genocide. And so, I mean, when it comes to Shia oppression, there's so much going on in the world, don't you think?
Yeah, most definitely, man. And there's a lot of ways to look at it, because I think we were speaking about this. We have spoken about this several times as well. Shia oppression comes from the inside and from the outside. You could do dhulm on yourself as a Shia by not taking pride in your identity.
That's a deep one.
Yeah,
Say that again. Say that again for the viewers.
You could do dhulm. You can oppress yourself as a Shia by not being proud of your identity.
Sukhni's superior thought
Clip
of
that.
the day.
Clip that.
One more time.
Tag me.
Yeah,
and I'll
let's
think about,
get
I'll
some
think about
graphics
sharing
at
it
the
on my
bottom.
page. Yeah.
Let's get some graphics at the bottom.
Yeah, but I don't think I can remember it. Let me try it. What was it?
You can.
It wasn't.
oppress
That's how I know it
yourself.
wasn't rehearsed. Yeah, Shia oppression, Shia dhulm can come in many ways, externally and internally. Internally, the dhulm is there by you not being proud of your own identity, your own Shia
Wow.
identity.
Wow.
Because I think that is the main form of dhulm. If I can't be proud of who I am as a Shia, of my wilayah to Imam Ali, then how am I expected to defend my madhab, to defend my people? Why are they being oppressed? I can't call Shia genocide if I don't identify as a Shia correctly myself.
Bang on. It's like, you know, when someone has low self-esteem
Yeah.
about themselves, they're doing an oppression to not just themselves, but anyone else that shares that identity.
Yeah.
And it's so integral that you have that pride of being who you are. Otherwise, you are just oppressing yourself in a way.
Do you think it's because, like, not being proud to be a Shia, do you think the media has a big part to play in? Because, you know, you've got Islamophobia as it
100%.
is. Yeah, funded by those people, begins with a Z. And then you've got your Speaker's Corner.
Funded by the W.
Yes, funded by the W.
/ S.
Yeah, you know what I mean? These thugs that came, you know, converted in prison or whatever. And so it's very difficult for a lot of people to be proud of their religious beliefs and so forth, especially when we've got people tarnishing our name,
Yeah.
our character, our scholars,
Yeah.
and so forth. And maybe it's really difficult to find something proud to be of, do you feel?
So, do you know, in all of that you're saying, I think it's, you mentioned, like, you know, that self-identity and everything like that. And you were saying, where does it really come from? And I think it starts from home. It's a little bit like charity. And when you're being brought up, the first thing that actually clicked into my head as you were saying that was, do I have a weakness in myself? Am I doing dhulm to my Shia identity? And alhamdulillah, I teach in the madrasa, and I see actually within some of the boys, there is that weakness of who are we? Like, who are we as Shias? Are we proud of ourselves? And that is actually where the dhulm starts, because like he said, if they haven't got that pride within themselves, you grow a whole generation of people that are telling the next generation, we're not the main Muslims, they are. Or for example, we're not the prime religion, they are.
It gets
And
diluted.
we have to, yeah, exactly. And we have to prove ourselves to them. And I've always explained something to the boys that I teach. It's that you have Rasulullah and his family, and that is the Sirat al-Mustaqim. That is the straight line. Anything that moves away from the family is the deviation. Stop being fooled by what you've been taught as a child, and stop being weak in your identity. For example, if you have certain beliefs, don't hide them. Be proud of who you are, because by hiding these beliefs or telling your children to hide these particular beliefs, what's happening? They grow up thinking, actually, my belief is weaker, and to the majority of the people out there, I need to hide it from
On
them.
that topic, you know, I can't stand apologetic Shias. You know what I mean? They're coming like, oh no, we don't hit ourselves. No, we don't curse the Sahara. We don't. What are you talking about? Like, you know, like back onto your point, Sukni, like, be proud of who you are. We have a narrative. You know, we have our own scholars. We have our own books. We have our own evidence.
It's not just apologetic. It's taking pride in the opposite of what
100.
those Shia standards are. Like, I'm not gonna bring up names, but there's some people out there on social media. They're like, oh, I'm Shia, but I've never spoken about the Sahaba. Or I'm Shia, I don't believe in the dhulm of Fatima al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha.
Bro,
So
you know,
they actually take pride.
you know,
What is
there was
that?
actually a guy out there. I've seen a video, and I, honestly, I've been looking for it because one of the boys showed me in the madrasa as well. And he goes that actually, looking back on looking back on Islamic history, we should have pride in Khalid ibn Walid. And I was just like, bro, can you imagine the bombshells going off in my head?
What did he read? What did he study for him to reach that
But
conclusion? That doesn't make
LGBTQ.
sense.
It's not even about the studying. It's
doesn't make
about,
sense.
don't you know what this guy did? And why are you trying to bend over for the other?
Bend
people?
over.
For example, no.
Khalid ibn Walid. Love it. Carry on.
I had to take it there. No, but
Yeah, you did.
the point is gone. But let's say some people have the belief that maybe what happened to Bibi Fatima Zahra didn't
Salaam
happen the
alaiha.
way it did. Let's like I said, I like playing devil's advocate, yeah.
Go ahead.
But even then, he had a big role in threatening Sayyidah Fatima Zahra,
Salaam alaikum.
attacking
Yeah.
the house, whether they believe it happened or not,
Mhm.
which with full yaqeen we believe it did happen. Yeah, this is the base of our entire history. The base of Karbala is this. The base of the oppression we're feeling today is that incident. So there's no way you can deny that it happened. But let's assume that disputed, or maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Someone like that was there. Someone like that killed hundreds of Muslims. Someone like that, did this, did that, did this, did that. It goes on and on. So I don't see how these apologetics or these Shia take pride in certain figures. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No,
Actually doesn't.
it doesn't. But on the other side of the coin, do you think we are victims of oppression because we have such narratives, or because we are pushing such narratives? It creates, us being objectified. It creates conflict, facade.
It's our fault. When you're weak, you get stepped on. Simple as that. It doesn't mean pick up a sword or pick up a gun. That's not what it means. Be confident. Be proud in what you believe in. You got to firm your belief. You have to firm it. If you're weak, even if you believe 1 + 1 is 2, but you don't seem confident, no one's going to believe you when you tell them 1 + 1 is 2. But if I come with full confidence, be like, no, according to the theory of Jabir ibn Hayyan 7,000 years ago, 1 + 1 doesn't actually equal 2 according to the theory. If I come with that confidence, you believe whatever I say. Let alone if you have the truth and you have the confidence, imagine how we will be as Shia. I think we'll be going through what we're going through.
And I think to add to that, even if I disagreed with your point, because you believe in it so much, because you've made it such a straight line, you respect it. And I think in that same manner, what you've said about the Shia, if we had that pride in who we are, we'd actually be respected for it, as opposed to constantly, I'm not going to say bending over,
But you know what? You got a point there. No one steps up or they try and mess about with the Muslims on their beliefs. Whether they believe the Prophet married a 5-year-old, whether they believe the Prophet was a warmongering, whatever they believe, no one has the guts to actually call them up on it and actually step to them or challenge them on certain premises and so forth. So I guess, maybe we are to blame for some of this oppression that we're receiving.
100%. And it reminds me actually, and when we're speaking about this topic, I'm going to bring up my university days quite a lot. But in my university, one of the first experiences I had was I'll call him a wobbler, coming into our Shia meet and greet, and he just kept ripping into the Shia beliefs.
Did he have a moustache?
Huh?
Did he have a moustache?
No, he had zero moustache and a big daddy, bro.
I could have answered that for you, bro.
Big
He's
beard.
telling you
Oh,
full
it was
on
with the sock
wobbler.
shape.
And I
With the
wasn't
sock
sure. I
shape.
wasn't
With the
sure. I wasn't sure if they were shorts or trousers. But anyways, yeah.
Oh,
He
man.
went around and he was saying a lot of stuff about the Shia, and I was baffled, bro. It's like my first week in the university. I don't know what university life is like. And he was
By the
saying
way,
all of
which
this
uni were
stuff.
you at?
Kingston.
And what year was this?
This,
Penryn Road.
back in the day. Penryn Road.
Yeah, I went Kingston.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Biomed.
Are you the
yeah.
Muslim they said to watch out for?
Probably.
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
But in this experience, so the first thing that happened was one of the people from the Ahlul Bayt Society, they said to this guy, sit down, let's talk. And they started talking to him, and he was bringing up some of the points that you said about, for example, is it true that the Shias, no, he kept saying, you Shias do muta and stuff like that. And the guy kept saying, oh no, yeah, some people do it, but we believe it's a bad thing. Or you guys beat yourselves. Yeah, some people do it, but we believe it's a bad thing. And constantly bending back on his beliefs just to please this other guy.
That's a problem.
Your duty is not to this person. Your duty is to Allah, and that is it.
Ahsant.
So then my experience throughout the years at university was I didn't intend to be like the Shia boy, but I got known as, oh, he's safe, he's the Shia, just because
That Shia
I
guy.
got so frustrated at seeing, for example, one of the Shia brothers praying without a turba. Or, for example, they ripped Nahj al-Balagha and left it on the floor. But the Bible, no, don't touch the Bible. Don't touch the Jewish books. Don't
Ajib.
touch anything but Nahj al-Balagha, rip it up, throw it on the floor. Like, brothers, that's a book that helps you as well. That speaks about your fourth Caliph. So I got really, really frustrated. And I remember there was one particular moment where I was praying Salah and someone kicked my turba and then said, what's wrong with it? It's just a custard cream biscuit. And I'll be honest, at first, it's the first time I've heard that, so it's quite funny, yeah? But it broke my Salah. I got up and I said to the guy, like, what's your problem? And we got into this heated discussion and he goes, no, it was an accident and all that sort of stuff. And it turned into this whole thing, whole debate. And then every time I went to the prayer room, I said, I'm not hiding in the corner anymore. I went literally go into the middle, pray my Salah there. I don't care what anyone has to say. They're not going to hit me.
You should have done it at Jummah time, right in front of all
That's
the.
the way to do it.
That's
I'm
peace.
telling you, that is the
They
way
might
to
hit
do
me.
it.
They might hit me then.
Ain't gonna hit you.
But in my head was, you know
Come on,
what?
we're here. Come on,
Do you know
bro.
what it is? I am proud of who I am. If a Christian can come in here and a Jew can come in here and be respected, even to the extent of people from outside the Abrahamic faith can come here and be respected, why can a Shia who believes in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why can he not be respected? And then when I started standing up for myself, I would listen to lectures online on my way back and forth to university, try reading books and learn more about my faith. So I ended up engaging in a lot of debates. And when I did that, suddenly everyone wants to respect me. And I was just like, what's going on here? I had a big argument about one of the wives of the Prophet with a guy outside university, hench guy, and I'm not gonna lie, he would have taken me in a fight. But I held my ground. On the academic side of stuff, I held my ground. And what happens the next day? He sees me at university. What does he say? Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you doing?
Yeah.
He gave me respect because I didn't bend my back. I didn't say, oh,
Yeah, you stood your ground.
maybe I do, maybe I don't. I said, no, this is what I believe.
Mm.
And guess what? He respected it. And I think that in this whole conversation, when we mentioned the things that we mentioned before about people like tipping their toes in the water and kind of saying, we kind of believe in this, but we kind of don't. It confuses the kids
Yeah.
growing up and
It
it
does.
allows us to be oppressed from outside because we're not strict on who we are. Sorry, man.
So
Clip that.
No, clip that. Yeah,
clip that. About 5 minute clip. but
No,
clip it.
100%. But this, all we're talking about now, by the way, is I would say minor level oppression.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, like if we're looking around the world now,
Mm.
this is all. What do we say? First world problems. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
first world problems. Yeah.
Okay, I got bullied. For example, because I'm Shia, no problem. People are actually dying.
Yeah.
Blood is being spilled. So
Mm.
that makes our problems nothing. Well, not nothing, because it does have a trickling effect.
Yeah, but we're not dying here.
But
you
we're
know
not
what I mean?
dying.
Yeah.
We're not seeing the oppression that they're seeing in the Middle East or even other places in the world. You know, even in Africa, the Shia are getting absolutely battered for no reason
So
whatsoever.
Hussein, like, I'm from Pakistan. Pakistan Shia genocide
You
is
guys
very,
have been
very
going
well
through it
known,
for
right?
years, yeah.
So we'll talk about that later. What have you read or what have you seen? You know, where maybe these what's the right word to use? Case studies
Mm.
of genocide are not given enough limelight.
Well, I can go on for days, bro. Like if let's talk about Iraq initially. Yeah,
So Iraq, I thought was very safe for Shias.
go back. Where do you want to go back to? Go back to the time of Imam Ali.
Okay, let's go.
The Battle of Jamal was taken where? Taken place
Basra.
where? Basra. Where's that? The modern day Iraq.
Iraq. Yeah.
From those days on till now, till Kufa, till Karbala,
Mm.
till so on and so forth, Iraq has been the place of oppression for the Shia. Whether it's the Umayyads, whether it's the Abbasids, whether it's the Ottomans, whether it's
Saddam Hussein.
whether it's Saddam in now day and age, whoever it may be, the Shia have been oppressed in Iraq and they've been killed. Their limbs have been cut just for visiting Imam Hussein, not even
Yes.
wanting power, not even going for politics.
But is it like that today?
Today? No, because today, well, I'll say yes and no. It's regional. It depends where you're going.
Tell us,
But
tell us.
yeah, okay. South and east of Iraq is mainly known as the Shia of Iraq. Center, south, east. Towards the north and mainly the east are the non-Shia or the Sunnis, let's say. But you know the extreme Sunnis of Iraq are Anbar province, up in the Mosul area, Tikrit, where Saddam's from. You know those areas, and that's where Spiker happened. Tikrit, Saddam's actual city. Is that not a genocide on itself, Spiker? Where they said 2,100 at the time, when it was actually something like 4,000 people were killed
Wow.
in one sitting. And I went and I saw that same place, and the ground is still red with their blood.
Oh, still. to this
Still,
day.
I've got footage. I didn't want to obviously
Yeah, obviously
bring that
we
up,
can't,
but
because,
it's heartbreaking. Shia are getting killed till this day. 2007, the sectarian war. They'll pull you up in the car, in the bus, walking. They'll look at your ID. Shia name, you're dead. Even if you're not Shia, if you have a Shia name, you're dead. My cousin got kidnapped twice in the same week. Imagine, he got kidnapped once
Hold on, where's your cousin
in
live?
Baghdad. He's Sayyid, so
Okay,
his
Baghdad.
my auntie's son. His dad is
Yeah.
Sayyid. He got kidnapped the first time. I laugh because he laughs about it. So he's fine
You
now.
call me
So
that,
when
He's fine about
what year was
this is sectarian. Yeah, alhamdulillah. This is time sectarian rights 2007, 2008.
Okay.
was Baghdad not a safer place at this time, by the way?
Not at all. He'd say you cross that line, you'd get shot. They cross this line, they'll
Or
get
just
shot.
proper territorial.
Territorial,
Bloods and Crips.
alleyways,
Literally.
the checkpoints. Everyone's having their own checkpoint. It was crazy. So he goes to me. The first people who kidnapped him. Obviously, there's a massive ordeal. He got tortured. It was crazy. Ransom was paid. Thank God. And alhamdulillah, they released him, which they usually don't. The same week he was released, he got kidnapped by Shia.
He got kidnapped by his own.
Please,
He got kidnapped by Shia.
elaborate, please.
Yeah, and then they looked at him. He was like, "Oh, you're Musa." We said, "Okay, go home." That's how bad it got at that time. They'll pick up anyone off the street.
We should not be laughing.
No, but the reason I'm
I'm
laughing
so baffled, bro.
because he laughed at that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
people, and it's become so common that it is sort of laughable. You know, it's like it's normal news. Imagine saying this to someone here. Yeah, I got kidnapped in London. Whoa. But when you talk about like the Shia and you talk about Iraq, it's normal.
No, but getting kidnapped by your own. You know,
They wanted to test the waters, check his ID, say
know what
you're
I
fine,
mean?
you're go.
That's hilarious.
But the Shia have been going through so much oppression.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying what they've done is good, but they went through so much oppression for hundreds of years that they needed to have that stand where they would stand their ground. And obviously, we need to protect our own. There's no way around it. We've been getting killed for years and years. And it happened Saddam's time. You're a Shi'i, shifted to Iran, shifted to here, shifted to there. And this is the problem, and this spill over into other countries as well, the neighboring countries. Try be a Shia in Jordan.
I've never been to Jordan.
Try, it's the biggest Nasabi country on the planet.
Really?
Try being Shia in Jordan.
I was really planning to go Petra, but I guess that's off the list.
Now it's not so bad. Now it's not going to be like, are you Shia or Sunni? But I'll give another story without blabbing on. I wanna hear your guys' story. But the stories will never end, I'm telling you. We went 1 year for Arba'in, Ziyarat al-Arba'in.
Okay.
We stopped transit in Jordan, yeah?
Royal Jordanian. Shout out. It's a good flight, apparently.
No shout out, no batikh, no nothing. It was the worst experience of my life.
Oh, damn.
We spent,
Immigration.
I think, 18 hours
Oh.
at the check-in desk. They didn't even give us a hotel.
Wait, how long was your
women,
transport,
children.
your
That's
transfer
wrong.
supposed
It
to
was
be?
like, I think a 24-hour, 23-hour.
Subhanallah.
Oh, but they wouldn't let you out.
So they took us to the hotel, yeah, and they made us sit in the lobby of the hotel for 18 hours. And there's women, they need to, freshen up. There was older ladies,
Yeah,
aunties,
you're
uncles.
entitled to.
We're just knackered, we're tired. And yeah, Iraq, you're the Iraq flight, stay here. 18, 19 hours. It was the worst experience. And I'll never fly with them again.
Oh.
Boycott Royal Jordanian Airlines.
I had something similar. I went to Iraq via Bahrain. Now Bahrain, you guys are very aware,
That's a funny
very
one.
very high population of Shia. However, government is not so friendly towards them, and that we'll discuss in a bit. But my story was I got stopped at immigration, and they held me for an hour. I was very lucky because it could have got a lot worse. Number one, I got a British passport. Number two, I got stopped because they asked me for my job, where I'm going, why I'm going, whatever. I'm off to Iraq. It's Arba'in. I work in media, and it's like, oh, you work in media? Okay, wait there.
Mistake number one.
That was a mistake. Listen, anyone flying anywhere, if they ask you a job, you're a taxi driver, all right? You do Uber. Yeah, trust me.
That's it, done.
You fit the mold, so
That's it. But yeah, so then they put me to the side. They were asking me, what do you do? Who do you work for? I'm like, Imam Hussein TV. I do this and that. I'm off to Iraq. I'm doing covering the Arba'in and Shia and so forth. I do live shows. Or is it? Is it a proper TV show? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Instagram? Well, it's on Insta. It's on YouTube. You can watch. I showed them clips of me on the channel and so forth. They're okay, no problem. Okay, have a seat. It should be all right.
Can I have your autograph?
No, nothing like that. They made me wait for about an hour 15. And then they were like, okay, you can come in. And the guy took me straight to the passport control. They like stamp his passport or whatever. And they said to me, no filming. I was like, no problem. I'm just going to the hotel and then coming back.
No
next,
problem
you know what
at all. Yeah.
I mean? But yeah.
But
So
do you think that was targeted just because obviously
bro,
you're
I
yeah.
know.
got a shit
I
on
know.
you?
I don't think I got targeted because I was Shia. I thought I got targeted because I work in media, and they were very, very.
Bro,
What's
you
the
guys
word?
please don't be gullible, bro.
No,
It's
I'll tell you what.
100% targeted, man.
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I felt more targeted on the way back. So I'm flying from Iraq back to London via Bahrain, black Distasha,
Well, there you
right?
go. Yeah.
And check-in desk, passport control, no problems. I even said media.
Bahrain as well on the way back.
Yeah, on the way back, Bahrain. Okay, and if you're staying for over a couple of hours, 12 hours, something, they'll give you a free hotel and everything. They give it to you for free. So I got my paperwork and everything. I'm going passport control. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna lie. This time they've all got it on record, innit? So I'm like, okay, yeah, I work in media, this and that, no problem. Stamp my passport. Go ahead. I go past passport control. Think, okay, this is all right. I'm through. I'm done.
Come.
And then I went to the scanning my hand luggage. Geezer goes, where's your passport? I'm like, what do you mean? Where's my passport? It's in the bag. Like, you just scan. What's it doing in there? What do you mean? Like, what am I going to put it in my pocket? Like, you okay?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It's in there. And then he looks at it and he's looking, where do you live in Bahrain? I don't live in Bahrain. And then he's like, well, what are you doing? I was like, I got a transit, man. What's wrong with you? Like, he's like, oh, okay, you can go. And I mean, this is the guy who scans the thingy, the bags. And then I was chatting to my mate in Bahrain, and he was telling me, yeah, that guy's got no authority to check your passport. You know what I mean? He's a security guard. He saw the black Distasha, right? And this and that. He thought, she, and then he just tried to.
But that's crazy because 60% of the population is in Karbala for Arba'in. So the country is empty. So I
don't get it.
It makes their life easier just to ease up, man. Ease up.
People, like, honestly.
I mean, I'm not well versed with Bahraini politics and what happened, but I'm fully aware that the civilians tried to do a coup or tried to overthrow the government.
2012, if I'm not mistaken.
3 times apparently.
14th of February. If you want to go historically, there was armed uprising at one point. I think in 19. I'm not sure of the year, but 2012 there was they nearly overthrew the government. It was bad at the time. So,
Shia oppression in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Are the Shias a victim of their own oppression, trying to rise up against the government?
I think you need to go deeper into like the understandings of politics and stuff there. Like
they'll tell you no, obviously. They'll say no, we're just oppressed for being Shia. Like, what more can we do? We've tried to get along with them. We can't. We've tried to do uprising. We can't.
Okay, before the uprising, was it bad for Shias?
So it was bad in the sense that if you're rich, you're rich. If you're wealthy, you're wealthy. But you won't reach a certain rank in the military. You won't get a certain position in work. For a lot of people, that's a problem. Like, who cares if I'm Shia? But for a lot of people, it's no. I'm wealthy as it is. So regardless of my faith, like whether because I'm Shia or not, at least I've got money, I've got wealth, so they wouldn't really have a problem. But I think generally for the past 30, 40 years, it's been a problem there, especially as being one of the oldest Shia majority countries and one of the oldest countries that first had a Shia population. It was Bahrain. There's even a maqam of, I think, Imam Sadiq in Bahrain, if I'm not mistaken. People don't know this.
Bahrain. Well, one thing a lot of people don't know is with Bahrain and also like the eastern part of Saudi Arabia. These guys have been Shia from the time of Ghadir. Their ancestors heard the message of Ghadir and were Shia and stayed Shia from that time.
Yeah.
You know, this is how Shia Islam came to these people and so forth. And I think maybe Shia Islam is a threat to a lot of governments. Think about it, if you were running your own country and you got a group of people who, number one, beat their chests. Some of them even get knives out. Yeah, shout out to all my Azadars. And these guys, you know, want to overthrow a government. They have a man called Hussain, you know, who lights up this fire in their hearts, who these guys use as fuel to fight oppression and injustice. I'd be very scared.
It's actually interesting you mentioned that. The other day I was listening to another podcast, actually, an Arabic podcast, and they were saying how the movement of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, or the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, wasn't used the way it is used today in terms of being such a, you know, militant, we need to be strong with it sort of thing. You know, the name Imam Hussein only in the last 150, 200 years was used for that reason. Again, I don't know how true this is, but this is what I heard, and I think if this is the case, then yeah, I'd understand why people see Shia as a threat.
It sounds almost like the unity that Imam Hussein brings is the danger for these
Exactly,
politicians,
exactly,
for
yeah, exactly.
these governments and stuff like that. And to be honest, I like anywhere you look in the world where there tends to be like an oppression towards Shias. In, for example, you've even mentioned Pakistan earlier. I think it's the unitedness of the Shia that's the threat. The fact that no matter how big a king or no matter how big a government become, is the allegiance of these people is never going to be to me. It's to Imam al-Mahdi,
Yeah.
or the allegiance to is Imam al-Hussein. How can we, as a group of people, essentially those in charge, how can we keep them down? And that seems like, for example, in Bahrain, what we've mentioned, it seems that if we can just keep them just a little bit lower, even if they believe in this Mahdi or even if they believe in this Hussein, for example, that we can stop them from essentially overthrowing us or becoming more powerful. But it makes me think that even online, by the way, like even online, you open, you just go on a video, there's like this cute little kid, that Matami kid, you must have seen him.
Curly hair.
No, not.
No, he just does Matam in
yeah,
every video.
But
Yeah,
you must have seen the video. He's so cute. He's so cute. You open the video. You open the video, and the kid's like 4 years old, and every single comment is mushrik, this, that, whatever. One of the comments cracked me up. He goes, "He might be a mushrik, but he's a cute mushrik." But it's everywhere, and it makes you think that. What do these people do? Because we've got it easy. Like we've mentioned, we've got it easy. What do these people in Pakistan, Bahrain, everywhere, what do they do that keeps them afloat despite all this whole ocean of hate?
It's the belief, man. It's the belief. One time in Arba'in, you might have been there that year, actually. One of the first years we all went as a group.
Okay.
We're just in Shara al-Qibla of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We're going to finish ziyara, mawakib, classic, standard things that we do. Go serve, go to a majlis. We're walking. All of a sudden, we had a massive vibration.
I was there that year. Yeah.
Everyone just went quiet. And I think we had a second one. Everyone went quiet. A few seconds later, everyone turns to the shrine of Imam Hussein. No one was phased. No, I've never been so baffled in my life. Like you just got bombed. And they just go and come, let's go to the shrine. Where's the bomb happening? Let's go, They don't fear death. The Shia in those countries, like our brethren, they don't fear death. Their aqidah is so strong. And I wish that we can have that here, man. Like, we need to have that strength in our belief, man. We need to be proud of it.
It reminds me of a saying, actually, that I saw is, how can you threaten people with death when that's all that they want? And it's just absolutely phenomenal when you think of it like that.
I think one of the main things as well in regards to Shia oppression is this notion, I don't know where it came from or how it works. It's probably that Ibn Taymiyyah lanatullah alayh. But, Shia blood is jais. Shia blood is halal. And I think that has fueled a lot of Shia genocide that we see. I mean, from my personal experience, I've met people from Panat Chinar in Pakistan, especially on Mashaya, and they tell me stories of what's happened and so forth. Targeting Shia specifically. And killing them only because they subscribe to the walaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen.
It's crazy, man. It's everywhere. Have you seen what they've been doing to them in Africa, North Africa, in Morocco? Remember what they done to Sheikh Hassan Shahata in Egypt?
Oh, yes. They pulled him out of his room, his house, didn't it?
They dragged him in the street. They pulled him out of his house and they dragged him in the street.
He was the sheikh that basically became Shia, right?
Yeah. Sheikh Hassan Shahata. He was
very influential.
Very influential. Yeah. Someone who mentioned him a lot was Sheikh Nimr as well.
Yes.
Sheikh Nimr?
No, what happened to Sheikh Nimr?
Yeah. And it feels like the sheikh that you mentioned from Egypt.
Back so many stories.
If he came and he goes, "Oh yeah, I've become a Christian. I'm going to celebrate Christmas." It seems like they might accept it. Okay, fine. Okay, we're becoming westernized. Subhanallah, amazing for Egypt. But mention Shia and that's it.
Breaks my heart. And those are sheikhs. So let's say they're a threat. What about Zakaria? Who remembers Zakaria?
Nigeria.
No, Zakaria in Medina, 4-year-old kid in the car.
Yes. Who we can forget.
Breaks my heart remembering it. 4 years old. Just because the driver found out he was Shia, just beheaded him there and then in the street. Is that not oppression? Do we not have it easy here? All this speaker's corner nonsense, all this online. These videos are banter, man. They take the mick out of us. I'm just laughing. This is funny.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's nothing. Right. It's nothing compared to what's happening to the Shia in the world. 4 years old. What was his sin? What did he do? Maybe he was, even if he wasn't Shia, maybe he was quoting someone from school. Oh, Shia friend in school said this. Yeah, Ali, whatever. For example, they still would have done the same thing to him. That's how much hatred they have for the Shia. And it goes back to their hatred of their grandparents to Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah
Yeah,
alayhi.
Ali.
That's all it is. It's inherited hatred.
100%.
And I mean, look at their heroes and look at ours. Ours, for example, Amir al-Mu'mineen taught us to have this. You look at Dua Kumal, Dua Mashlul, you see this connection with God. And who are theirs? Who are their heroes? Their heroes are people that murdered the companions of the Prophet.
Butchers.
And they're saying to us,
Butchers,
for
yeah.
example, why do you have a problem with the Sahaba? The people that you're calling heroes killed a man who was a close companion of the Holy Prophet. And when they take people like that, of course they're going to fall into this hatred. And the story that you mentioned in Saudi actually reminded me of another story that when I was on the walk, on the Arba'in walk, which again is just a place like, alhamdulillah, we in London, we're like in this center of the Western Shia world where we've got Hussainia after Hussainia, we've got Majlis, we've got everything. But some people don't have that. And when you go on the Arba'in walk, it's this 80-kilometer sea that just keeps flowing of people. And it's just people that love Imam Hussein. So no matter where you are in the world, you could be in the depths of, I don't know, Iceland or Greenland or whatever it is. But when you go on that walk, you're like, okay, I'm not alone in this world. I have a whole river of people that are on the same path as me. And it gives you that strength. It gives you that pride of who you are.
And that is why the Mashaya, the walk of Arba'in, was banned by Saddam.
Because look at the unity.
Because he knows the power of it.
And people from all different parts of the world can talk with each other. I'm sure all of us have like 100 stories of the people that we've met.
Friends now, not just people we've met. The people I'm still in contact with. Someone I don't even speak the
Subhanallah.
same language as. I'm on Instagram with them every other day just chatting.
But
How? I don't know.
What
Just
language
like
does he
three
speak? Because I swear you
emojis,
speak like Farsi, English.
Yeah,
Arabic.
and I broken Farsi, like 20%
Dabbled
Farsi,
into
yeah,
it.
and that'll do. Like a couple words in Urdu that I
You know,
yeah.
like I met someone from from there's, I forgot the name of the place in Saudi Arabia.
Qatif.
Qatif, sorry.
Yeah.
And before that I had never met a Saudi Shia, so for me that was a big surprise.
yeah.
And he spoke a bit of English as well, and he started talking and stuff.
By
And
the
I
way, they're
remember,
really nice.
honestly,
So humble,
honestly,
they're
such
so
a
nice.
The
he was
nicest
such a
of
lovely
people.
person.
Yeah.
And I remember I went off to get some tea and stuff like that, and I came back and I could see this look on my dad's face because my dad was speaking to the guy, and my dad was like shocked and surprised at the same time, and I couldn't really tell. And then he goes, "Saif, come over here, look at this guy's, look at his house." And I was expecting to see like a palace or something like that, and it's just a burnt site. It's just a site that's burnt. It looked like what was once a nice house, but it's been completely burnt. And I was like, what on earth is that about? And the guy explained that he was threatened that if he comes for the ziyarah of Imam Hussein, that they would come and burn his house down. And he said for so many years he's been thinking about it. And he said, you know what? What matters in this life? Does my house matter or does my love to Imam Hussein? He came on this ziyarah, and just because he visited the grandson of the Prophet, those who claim that they love the Prophet said, okay, you know how we will treat him? How we'll give him a gift? Let's burn his house down. And it just baffles me. Like, it baffles me. How can you hate a group of people so much for what? Do they do anything against
Hate
you
them
other
to-
than love?
Hate them to
Other
the
than-
extent of killing them, their family, their neighborhood.
What do you think's fueling it though? It doesn't make sense. These people
Ignorance.
will allow.
No, I don't think it's ignorance.
The thing is, let's look at some of that.
Everything's
Saudi.
out there for them to know. It's not ignorance.
The
man. That's-
UAE took in how many Israeli citizens?
Yeah.
Something like 100,000 or something like that. You're letting those in. You're letting Christians in. Dubai. How many expats they call them? You know what I mean? How many expats have come into Dubai who are from a non-Muslim
90%.
background, but they get all their freedoms. But when it comes to us, what do you think's fueling it?
I don't think it's ignorance thing at all. I think we're letting them off easy when we say it's an ignorance thing. I think it's a genuine case. Maybe not the way they're doing it now, but I think what's caused the way they're treating the Shia now is their predecessors not wanting the Shia, as you mentioned, to be unified in power. Because you have in the past with the Buyid Empire, with the Fatimid Empire, with the Safavid Empire, with the way certain countries are being run now, they still have that fear of the Shia saying, you know what, we're taking over.
Shall I tell you something?
Even though we don't care. Like, just let us do our matam, let us have our qima, let us do our ziyarah. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you something. I was in Pakistan and I was visiting my grandfather's village and everything, and I came across some what we call Bradri, like tribal members. And, we're all from the same descendants and so forth. And we were talking about politics and stuff. And he said to me, he goes, Mohsin, do you know, if the Shia of Pakistan united, right, and had a political group, majority of Shias would vote for them, and they would take up all the seats in parliament. They would run the country. There's 50 million Shia in Pakistan, by the way.
Yes, that
50
makes sense.
million Shia.
That makes sense.
The population is 240 million.
Okay.
There's 50 million Shia, right? And if every single Shia was to vote for the Shia party in Pakistan, it would be enough to take all the seats, and we'd run the country.
Ajib. But even Imran Khan, was he not?
No, I've got a very different opinion. Imran Khan, we're going to talk about politics quickly.
Yeah, quickly, just a little side note.
Just
yeah,
quickly.
The politics segment starting
Right.
Because he was
very good
ziyara,
for the country.
he was...
Very good for the country, but he's a Taliban sympathizer.
Big
Right? And that's, what I mean?
That's a
Because
big
he's a Khan. He's a Pashtun himself. You know what I mean? Yeah, so he's
I've got a Khan sitting
I
next to
can
me,
see,
bro.
I can see you pointing it
I
at
don't
me.
think he's got his.
Yeah, but you can't just say he's a
connected
Khan
to his
and say full.
Pashtun
You can't just say
roots,
he's Khan full stop. He's a Khan as well.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
Imran Khan is a Taliban sympathizer, and he always has been. He doesn't even want to eradicate the Taliban in Pakistan. Not that he's going to talk to them in Afghanistan and have good relations. That's one thing. But the Taliban in Pakistan, who have caused loads of problems,
Obviously, that's not good for
who are
Shia.
part of the Shia oppression and Shia
Yeah.
genocide as well, he's not even wanting to ban them
Okay,
or
just
this and
yeah,
that. So
that's an important clarification for me as well
Yeah.
because I'm not too familiar with the politics there as well.
Nor am I, but
But,
it just seems like every angle you go in, just there's no blessing when it comes to politicians in Pakistan. So.
There's nobody when it comes to the Shia in Pakistan,
And honestly,
unless they've run their area, unless they're those.
No, where I come from, I'm from Punjab, right? And
Geo,
it's very,
yeah,
very
come
safe
on.
there. You've seen, hold on.
Come
So,
on.
first of all, Sokhani is very, very familiar with the Sangat, yeah, and
with
our
the culture, with the
rituals,
culture,
with the Pakistani
not the politics,
culture.
the culture. Yeah.
Well, you seen what we're like, right?
Love
and,
it, love every bit of it.
Where we're from, we have Shia strongholds. You know what I'm saying? And every city, major city, has not even one, maybe 2, 3, 4 Masira Jalus that we do.
Massive as well.
Yeah, our mosques, our Imam Bargas, our Hussainis are just as big as the Sunnah wal Jama'ah, or even the Wahhabi mosque, just as big, just as many members attending and so forth. We're very strong in certain areas, and no one can touch us.
Are those areas near each other, or are they spread in Pakistan?
Spread out? So it's mainly the big cities. Obviously,
Yes,
in
big
cities, it's like Iraq. You can't really touch people in Baghdad or in Najaf.
That's where the sectarian violence was, bro.
Baghdad.
Yeah, sectarian violence is not going to be in Karbala or Najaf.
Seriously?
Yeah, they would do some like bombings and some kidnappings here and there.
That happens, but
the actual
I'm talking about if someone tried to
actual-
do something.
the actual civil war and the actual killings. It was all Baghdad. Yeah. Baghdad was a killing zone, man.
Never in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Pakistan, the most it will get to is like gangs fighting gangs.
Because I think if it does
That's
reach that
it,
level in
'cause-
Pakistan, that will end the population
Someone
in
pushed
Pakistan.
the big
It
red
would,
button.
but
Yeah,
we've got such a strong military presence. They'll shut it down straight away. And the military have both Sunni, Shia, Hindu,
Yeah,
Sikh,
that makes
everything's
sense.
in there.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So they're they're very sectarian as well. So they're like, we're not here for your religious affiliations.
So it's secular.
Yeah, it's very secular,
Yeah.
We're not here for your religious affiliations. You're all citizens of Pakistan, and this is how you're going to behave.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? So it'll get shut down like that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, in Pakistan, it's very safe to be Shia in majority of places. The hard parts are when you go towards the Afghani borders and stuff. That's where it's a bit dangerous. And that's where Parachinar is and so
And
forth.
when you bring up Parachinar, it's when there was that refugee crisis going on in Calais. Like
Yeah.
I got blessed to meet a whole group of them, and actually it was just a massive
true, yeah.
coincidence because, and by the way, just another point when it comes to Shia oppression that came to light is we went to the camp, and the first thing that someone said to us was, "Be careful because there might be some Daesh in the camp.
Wow.
So be careful of saying that you're
I'm going to
Shia."
say one thing though.
Oh, we went
Yeah.
together, yeah.
Him and his family,
MashaAllah.
they established a Hussainia in that camp.
MashaAllah.
I remember I used to bump. I didn't go with them, but we used to bump into them at the time. We used to go
Ah.
take our own like
Yeah.
aid and stuff. A khayma, a big tent, and it became a Hussainia that held
Oh,
majalis.
Wow.
So sometimes the Shia just need to lean on their own Shia. We
Yeah.
need to support our Shia for them to have their.
Definitely.
And actually, those
So it
people
was bad
actually
there.
made a bit of a complaint
Yeah.
that the French Shia had actually made a visit, but then never returned.
Yeah.
And it was a bit sad to hear. But alhamdulillah, and it wasn't just us, it was a massive community effort, not just the South London community, like everyone got involved,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
made this magic happen.
Yeah.
And the intention was correct. But when we went to the camp, a person came up to us and he saw my brother had a green band on his hand, and he goes to him, "Are you sure?" And my brother was looking at me like, what do I say? Like, do we say yes? Do we say no? And if you've met Shabs, you know he's just like, yeah, I'm, yeah, I'm,
straight
and what?
away,
Yeah.
And the guy
But
goes to
that's how
him,
it should be, by the way.
yeah. But bro, listen, when you hear there's Daesh there and on the other side of the world they're blowing and
And you're in
hanging
another
people and
country
stuff
that
like
you're not
that, and
like
and
French
we
wanna
were
get
with
rid
our
of you
family as
anyway.
well. It was just a
Yeah.
little bit like, but then obviously Shabs was like, yeah, and the guy grabbed him, yeah.
Oh.
Bro, I'll be honest, yeah, I'll crap
Yeah.
myself. We were young, we were like 17, 18 at the time. And I got a bit shook. And then he started kissing him and he goes, where have you been?
Oh,
Where
wow.
have you been?
Yeah,
We
it
need
was not a
help.
nice situation.
And he took us over and we met this whole group of Kuwaitis. But then when they put the flag up on the Hussainia that he mentioned, this whole group of Pakistanis came. And they were like, this whole time, this group of Kuwaiti Shias has been living
Yeah.
here. And we're Pakistani Shias. We didn't even know. We didn't
Mm.
even know that they were Shia. So they came down, we got to meet them, and the stories they told us about Parachinar, because I asked them, like, why would it not be better for you
They
to
were
stay with
from
your
there, they were
families?
from Parachinar.
And it's the first
Okay.
time it had actually come to light, and they speak
No way.
Pashto, and it was like they recited in Hussain, it was beautiful. But the stories they said was, it was like, do you know something you hear in a movie, but you know every time you're watching a movie, but you know it's just a movie. And this guy's telling a
Exactly what it was.
story, and
No.
you're like, this is like you're sitting next to this person, he's telling you the story, and you're thinking, this is this guy's story. Like, this is real. This is actually happening. It's not something you're watching on the news. It's not an
Yeah.
article that you're reading. This is him telling me what happened to his kids. No, not him, but this is the guy
They're doing a lot
telling.
of pointing and say, yeah.
But what happened to his kids? What happened to his wife?
Yeah.
Why he had to escape? And one particular story that I'm just going to touch on quickly is about a guy who got completely fed up. They killed so many people in his family, and he said the number in Parachana exceeded 1,000 of deaths.
Whoa.
And
Allah
he
Akbar.
was just, he was like, this is
Over
enough. And if you
1,000
know about
people.
Parachana, they're not some advanced technological city. They are people
Simple
from
people.
the
Simple
mountains. They
No,
are
but don't get it twisted. These guys are warriors, bro.
Yeah, of
100%.
course.
They've got an
He
arsenal
said
with them,
they're
like
built
they're
hard.
ready
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
fight.
But he
you know
said
what I mean?
enough is enough, and he gathered a whole group of them, and he goes, let's show them what we're about. And they went and they attacked, I believe it was the Taliban, attacked them so badly that the Taliban had to retreat so much because of a bunch of villagers. But
Yeah.
what was their weapons? Their weapons was their pride of
Yeah.
being
Qamas.
Hussaini.
Mashallah.
like-
Hella. Next time.
Next time, man.
Next time.
But
Bring the
the-
qamat.
Yeah, honestly, but their pride was being Hussaini. And he says that knowing about, for example, the story of Karbala, you speak about Hazrat Abbas, and a child that sits in a majlis and grows up listening to this warrior that protected Imam Hussein, he listens to the man who fought, he listens to Amir, about stories about Amir al-Mu'mineen who lifted the doors of Khaybar, etc. And you think he's going to be scared of what? This random guy whose trousers are so high up there, almost showing his knees.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, the fear was non-existent, and they managed to push back a whole base of
I
people.
mean, to be fair, who can they call upon? Like, who are their role models when it comes to the battlefield? We don't need to go into details. But
When it comes to anything, who are the
Yeah,
role models?
exactly.
They're all warriors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
listen, boys, we've taken up a lot of time, but one thing I really want to hit on is what shall we do as a community when it comes to Shia oppression? Is there more that we can do? Can we, highlight these? Can we write letters to our MPs? What do we do?
Again, all these methods work. I think MPs talking about this, that, but it's just about bringing it into the light. That's the first step always. This MP thing, I don't do. If a message gets sent to me, I'll forward it on. I know it has worked in the past, but I don't think it's my preferred method to deal with things. I think talking about it openly on all platforms, Bismillah, that's the best way to talk about it, because it'll get people riled up, whether they're pro, whether they're against. All publicity is good publicity at the end of the day. So the more we talk about it, the more it's out there, the more, a movement happens. Not to take power or anything, not to become like world leaders. That's not, I think, who we are, or that's not who I am as a Shia. That's not why I identify myself as a Shia. But just so we have that freedom to fight back with our words, with our actions, That's the way I see it.
And also is building on knowledge, because with knowledge comes a stronger identity. If I'm not sure about what my Imam al-Mahdi is going to be like, then how can I be confident in him? And if you're able to teach people and keep that discussion going about who we are, our identity, what we believe in, like I said, those children that grow up in the majlis of Imam Hussein, they have that pride and identity of who they are. And by keeping those conversations going, and not just within our circles, but outside of them as well, it helps us to just keep our line where it is, and it prevents that oppression from basically breaking its way through the doors.
Thank you very much,
No,
gentlemen.
what about you?
What about
this isn't an interview, man. I want to hear what you
Yeah.
think.
What,
Yeah, what's
what
your,
do I think?
what do you think, man? What do you think is the best way to tackle this, to fight this Shia oppression in the world, not just locally?
I'm not the guy to talk to, bro.
Well,
I'll be
I'm
honest.
the
Do
guy
you
to
know
talk
what?
to about
I'm
this
gonna
though,
say.
bro.
I'm gonna say
You're
what
more
I
of a guy to
personally
talk
believe,
about it, yeah.
and this is what I say to everyone. I think the best way to stop Shia oppression is to, first of all, bring light to it, let people be aware of it. Furthermore, we need to do more. Writing to your MP, coming to protest is good, but are we seeing change? We're not seeing much change at all. We've got to find a better way to put pressure
Yeah.
on people with authority, hold people with authority accountable.
Yeah.
That why is this happening in your country or in your city? You know, you're supposed to protect your citizens and so forth. Isn't there a freedom of religion? Isn't there a freedom of religious expression? So are we not allowed to practice? And why are we being penalized or we're being targeted for having the walaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen and so forth? So I believe that there's a lot more we can do in terms of on the ground, making
Yeah.
a positive impact. And, you know, one thing, you know, you boys both mentioned is, I think, number one, we really need to be proud of being Shia. We have one of the most beautiful religions,
Yeah.
lifestyles, philosophy,
Yeah.
approach to love, compassion, towards
Every aspect
conflict
of
and
life.
war, everything. We have one of the most beautiful approaches to life.
Yeah.
And so, number one, that we should be proud of. We shall protect. And furthermore, we should never ever forget the banner of Abu Abdullah Hussain and also Fatima Zahra salamu alayha. So inshallah, as long as you have that in your heart, inshallah, you will go forward and strive to victory and success.
And don't forget the praying for Ta'jil al-Faraj of Imam Sahib al-Zaman, because
Inshallah.
that is the end of oppression. Of Shia
Indeed.
oppression.
Ahsantum,
That is the final
ahsantum.
point, yeah.
Thank you very much, brothers. I just want to quickly remind the viewers that everything that was said was the comments and opinions of ourselves, doesn't really reflect on the channel or what the channel,
I
believe in and
represent
so
every
forth.
Shia in London.
I second that.
No. Take that back.
Apart from me and him,
Yeah,
he represents everyone
no,
else.
I don't present.
Thank you very much. This episode of the Shia Vibe could not be brought to you without the team here at Imam Hussein TV. So we want to give a big thank you and a shout out to the director, producer, Muhammad Fahad, also the team behind the cameras, which is Salman Bhai, Muhammad Radha, and also Amir Raza, technical team. We've got a lot more volunteers as well and people behind. So to the whole team at Imam Hussein TV, thank you so much for bringing this content to your screens. And inshallah, keep supporting Imam Hussein TV 3. Until next time, this has been the Shia Vibe. Guys, like, subscribe, comment, share, and inshallah, any form of feedback would be appreciated. And inshallah, we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, remember the Imam of your time and remember the oppression of the Shia. And inshallah, let us bring justice to the world. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.